Hi all. Hi all. Welcome to Module 3, Deep Learning and Activation Function. So, a small recap of our previous module, the contents of the previous module. Activation function. So what is an activation function? It's an artificial neural network. In an artificial neural network, an activation function is a function that maps the input to the output. As you would remember, deep learning has many layers, input, output, and as well as many hidden layers. A deep neural network or an artificial neural network has multiple layers where the learning happens, and each and every layer consists of something called as a neuron or a perceptron. The other name of neuron is perceptron. So this neuron should be excited for the learning, for the input to get transformed and convert itself to an output. So this triggering inside this neuron happens due to this activation function, and hence activation function maps a node's input to its corresponding output. The activation function is a mathematical gate. This activation function determines whether this neuron should give an output or not. So what is the node output? When you try to formulate node output, it is nothing but the activation function, the weighted sum of inputs. What do you mean by weighted sum of inputs? Weighted sum of inputs is the product of the weights and the input plus the bias. Some more details about activation function. An activation function is a non-linear function. Activation function can also be linear, but non-linear function is most preferred. An activation function is a non-linear function applied by a neuron to introduce non-linear properties in the network. The relationship is linear. The relationship can be non-linear. Getting back to certain mathematics, brushing up of our basic mathematical skills. Here, a linear function is one which has corresponding input to the corresponding output. Where if you try to plot a linear function, you get a function something like this. Whereas non-linear function is something which the corresponding input may not produce the corresponding output, because the output may be dependent upon various other factors. So balancing that so-called various other factors may give rise to a non-linear function which gives the graph something like this. So always a non-linear function has better balancing ability than a linear function. So the relationship is linear if a change in the first variable corresponds to a constant change in the second variable. A non-linear relationship means the change in the first variable does not necessarily correspond to a constant change in the second output. Hence they may impact each other, but it appears to be unpredictable. Let's understand certain linear functions. What is a binary step function? A binary step function is a threshold based activation function. It's a threshold based activation function. If the input value is above or below a certain threshold, the neurons are activated and sends exactly the same signal to the next layer. Something like this. This binary step function can be an activation function when there would be neural networks which works for yes or no. So beyond a certain threshold, this value changes, 0 changes to 1. This is the S part, this is the no part. So this function has its own limitation, where a binary step function can be used as an activation function only if the predictions would have only two categories, yes and no. A linear activation function. A linear activation function takes the inputs multiplied by the weights for each neuron and creates an output signal proportional to the input. So this is the graph plotted. If you would try to get the mathematical backgrounds, this output is just plotted as a proportional value to the input. You produce 4, output minus 4. You produce input minus 4, you get the output minus 4. It's proportional. In one sense, the linear activation function is better than the step function. The reason being that this function as an activation function can be employed only for the predictions where yes or no is involved, whereas this has better values other than yes. Now let's get into the most interesting parts, non-linear activation functions. So any successful ANN, artificial neural network, or a deep neural network, DNN, would employ non-linear activation functions. The non-linear function is non-linear when the input is not proportional to the output. These non-linear activation functions do help in balancing many parameters and helping the complex predictions. A non-linear function can also capture more complex patterns. So output values are bound between 0 and 1, normalizing the output of each neuron. In mathematics, the word normalizing refers to making or equating any value to 1. If you are trying to make any value 1, it's called normalizing. Also it is called as convergence. You're trying to converge the value between 0 and 1 or equal to 1. So this is the formula for the sigmoid activation function. It's very simple. So you employ any values of z, sigmoid 1. Try to calculate 1 by 1 plus e to the power of minus 1. You get a value between 0 to 1. You employ any value here, maybe 55, sigmoid of 55. 1 by 1 plus e to the power of minus 55, you'll get a value between 0 and 1. So that's the beauty of sigmoid function. Sigmoid function normalizes the value or converges a value between 0 and 1 so that the neuron gets the proper input to get activated. A similar non-linear activation function is a hyperbolic tangent function, where hyperbolic tangent function is set for inputs strongly negative, neutral and strongly positive values. So here, applying the formula, you input any values of tan h of z, you will find the value converging between minus 1 to 1. Sigmoid, it is 0 to 1, whereas tan h, it is minus 1 to 1. Rectified linear unit or ReLU is another non-linear activation functions which will output the input directly if it is positive, otherwise it's 0. So the plot is something like this, where you get positive values get plotted, and if the input is negative, it's only a 0. Let's understand about leaky ReLU. Another non-linear activation function called as leaky ReLU. ReLU function faces a problem called as dying ReLU problem. As we saw in the previous slide, a ReLU function, rectified linear unit function, is one which produces a plot for positive values, whereas for all the negative values it's 0. This is a problem, and the problem is called dying ReLU problem. The downside of being 0 for all the negative values is a problem called as dying ReLU. A ReLU neuron is dead if it's stuck in the negative side and always outputs 0. The ReLU neurons, when stuck in the negative side, always outputs 0. Over the time, this more number of neurons which is stuck in the negative values produces a big problem to the complete network in all the aspects. Hence, a leaky ReLU has a small slope for negative values. When the value is negative, the leaky ReLU has a small slope for negative values instead of altogether 0. For example, leaky ReLU may have y is equal to 0.0 x when x is less than 0. So for the values which are negative, the value of y becomes this, and hence a smaller slope. Thanks for your patience and watching time.